Oh. 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 Welcome to Meaningful Mornings. Sheila and I, we try to create an assembly line of responsibilities in the morning to try to be more efficient. So part of my responsibilities are to get the kids outside, socks on, shoes on, to sit in the car. Vyasa, he follows his own timeline. So when he comes into the car and I'm asking him to sit in his car seat, he's living his own life. So when the love is not working, and I start to tease the fear and say, Vyasa, if you don't sit in this car seat, you're going to fall out of the car. Is that what you want? His response is yes. Now, what am I supposed to do? Love doesn't work. Fear doesn't work. For him, he doesn't care if he falls. That means he doesn't have to go to school then. He's 4 years old. We are 40 years old, 50 years old. When will we feel that falling is not how we should be living? When will enough be enough? Our workshop is to not tolerate sadness, rather to transcend sadness and fear and confusion. Prince Arjuna's question at the beginning of chapter 3, where he feels knowing and acting are mutually exclusive. What this shows is that he's not prepared. Many of you may feel what we've studied in chapter 3 is technical right now. This is for teachers. Let me make this personal to us. After you have heard or read thoughts on Vedanta, the science of happiness, if you say, I need practical tips on Vedanta, this shows that you're not prepared. You're not ready. A simple and powerful example that Swami Tejomayananda shared with us. I'll use the exact context he uses. If you have a glass of milk on your kitchen table and a guest comes over, a friend, and they say, there's poison in that milk. Do you ask that friend, please give me practical tips on not drinking this milk? That understanding is complete, that even if that friend says, I was just joking, you still dispose of that milk, correct? You may even dispose of the glass. How can you wash out poison? That understanding is complete where you practice. So if I'm feeling and asking for practical tips on Vedanta, that means I have not understood. I am not prepared. Our egos operate in many overt ways and covert ways. Sometimes our ego makes us feel we are vastness. Yet, in your honesty, if that's not your experience, that means you are not ready for the process. You've not completed the process, or Sankhya Yoga. Sometimes our egos make us feel, fine, I am not vastness, but I am ready to know vastness. But if this is too much, I'm not connecting the dots. In my honesty, what I need to do is to focus on preparation. Everyone's with me. Our egos make us feel we are vastness, but if you're not feeling that, you need to focus on the process. Our egos make us feel we're ready for the process, but in our honesty, if we're not, we need to focus on the preparation. And please don't confuse this preparation like preparing your kitchen or preparing a meal or preparing for a road trip. This preparation is purification of one's mind, of one's intellect. Shri Krishna begins his response to Prince Arjuna by saying, in this world. The implication of in this world is how we should live in this world. Don't externalize this. In this world, there are two technical ways to live. It's how we should live in this world. The first three verses, and even the one I'm about to share, are all emphasizing the need to be prepared. If you are prepared, you will naturally flow into the process. If you're in the process, you will naturally flow into peace. There is no exclusivity. All of this is one path. When I tell you right actions, this will naturally become the right Atma, which will naturally become the right Ananda. So how should we live? Right actions. How are we going to be independently joyous? Right actions. How simple and universal these teachings are. So now I'm asking all of you again, is anyone lost with what I'm saying? Now, just to protect myself, I'm going to close my eyes. That way, even if you put your hand up, I didn't see it. We continue with verse 4. Na karmana manarambhat na ishkarmyam purushoshnute na cha sanyasana deva siddham sadam samadhi gacchati. Let me chant that again. Na cha sanyasana deva siddhim samadhi gacchati. Okay. The first quarter. Na karmanam anarambhat means anarambhat, not beginning. Na karma, not action. So the implication of Sri Krishna's here is, many feel being peaceful means not acting. So personalizing this, being peaceful is not acting. But he's sharing, no, this is not true. Being independently joyous is not facilitated by not becoming. By not becoming. We have to become to be. We have to become to be. Okay? This is emphasized again. Naishkarmyam purusha ashnute. A seeker like us, purusha, ashnute, gains or feels, naishkarmyam, which means actionlessness. Actionlessness. A seeker will not feel actionlessness if they stop acting. A seeker will not experience actionlessness if they stop acting. This is a very beautiful word, naishkarmya, which means actionlessness. And if you connect previous thoughts shared, actionlessness is synonymous with desirelessness. Our karmas are a projection of our kama. Desirelessness is indicative of vasanalessness, or not having a blueprint, because our kama comes from avidya. So no actions, no desires, no ignorance. This will not happen if we stop acting. What's the best way to be peaceful? Do nothing. That's escapism. That is not embracing peace. This is why I shared right before I began this verse, what is Sri Krishna trying to impress upon Prince Arjuna? Right actions. The right actions will lead to peace. He says the same in the next quarter. Na cha sanyasanat. It is not by renunciation, eva, alone, that one will be peaceful. It is not by renunciation alone that one will be peaceful. Explaining this, I had shared that the word sannyasa is made up of sam, which means all, ni, which means down, and us, which means to throw. Sannyasa means to throw all down. Typically, we define this as renunciation or detachment. This does not work unless you're holding on to something, unless you're attached to something. If you're not focused on the right actions, on the right atma, on the right ananda, all you will do by not acting, that's what Prince Arjuna wants. That is just suppression. He wants to know, he does not want to act, but not acting will not help him to know. Finally, siddhim samadhigacchati. This siddhim, or perfection, the word we're using is peace, samadhigacchati. One will not feel this through this wrong interpretation, through this wrong practice of escaping. Share it in a personal way, and your prayers didn't work. All of my books are getting wet. There is a significant difference between can't act, which is tamasic, and won't act, which is rajasic, and needn't act, which is sattvic. The one who is peaceful, it's not that they can't act, again, tamasic, and it's not that they won't act, rajasic, but they needn't act. They don't have to act for peace because they're already peaceful. They have nothing to gain, so they have nothing to lose. This verse is sharing, Arjuna, you want to know you have to act. Engage in the right actions. From inspiration to application. Your application yesterday was to rate your purity. Please share your rating. How pure is your mind intellect? 1 is awful, 100 is awesome. 20. I see a 3 in there. What happens before karma yoga? Is there a preparation for the preparation? 80, 75, 20, 40, 80. My interpretation is that if your purity is anything less than 67, we have to give more of ourselves to right actions. We have to give more of ourselves to seva, or feeling that you belong to others. Then naturally, your purity will go up, and naturally you will know vastness. The key being natural. Here is your application for this morning. I want you to feel, to have the bhava that Sri Krishna is holding your hand, that he is guiding you in a most personal way. Feel that. Shanti, shanti, shantihi. Be safe, be sound, be serene, be happiness.